The Minnesota Vikings have the best defensive playbook in Madden 25, and today I'm going to show you the top 5 blitzes that can all be found in this playbook to help you get more wins, and they're guaranteed to make your opponents rage. And if you're serious about improving your game, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for when we drop new videos. With that, let's get into it. Now, everything you see in this video is from our Minnesota defensive game plan. So as always, if you want the full scheme with even more lockdown coverage and unstoppable blitzes, head over to WinMadden.com. Now let's get to the first play. This is one of the easiest and fastest blitzes in Madden 25. The play is Sim Pressure 3 from the formation Nickel 2-4. Now to set this blitz up, we want to make sure we have our coaching adjustment set with auto flip on and auto alignment set to base. I also highly recommend subbing safeties into both of these middle linebacker spots, as it's going to help the blitz come in even faster. Now once we break the huddle, all we need to do is show our play art to identify which middle linebacker is blitzing. In this case, you can see it's the one on the right. Now, this is going to be a simple 4-man pressure that's going to come screaming in through the B gap every single time, as long as we do 2 quick adjustments. First, we're going to shift our defensive line in the direction of the blitz. Now, we're going to do that by hitting left on the D-pad and then right on the left stick, and then we're going to shift our linebackers opposite of the blitz. So, since the defensive line went right, we're going to shift our linebackers left by hitting right on the D-pad and left on the left stick. Now, what's great about this is it's only 4-man pressure. That's all you need to send, and this is going to come screaming in. Now, it's important that you take this user and kind of stand down here close to the line of scrimmage just to get their attention a little bit. But once the ball is snapped, if your opponent sends out 5 receivers, you're going to get looping pressure right through the B gap every single time. Again, it's one of the easiest and fastest blitzes in the game. Now, if we set this up again, you're also going to notice that you can get away with QB containing if you like. So if your opponent snaps the football and they see the looper coming and they try to run away from it, they're still going to get sacked. It is a crazy, easy, and crazy good blitz. Now, what makes it even better is you can change your coverage however you like. Like if you wanted to shade down to play hard flats, you can totally do that. If you wanted to turn the left side into a cover 2, you can do that as well. This is completely up to you, and it's a very, very flexible defense because of this. But again, if they send out 5 receivers, this blitzer is going to come screaming through that B gap, and you're going to get an instant sack of the quarterback. And at number 4, we're going to look at the Drag Out Blitz. This is one of the best all-around defenses in Madden 25. I'm going to show you how to run one of the fastest blitzes while also being able to play some of the most lockdown coverage in the entire game. The formation is Nickel 3-3 odd, and I'm going to show you a setup from our Minnesota defensive game plan. Now, to properly run this defense, we want to make sure we have our coaching adjustment set to auto flip off and auto alignment set to base. We're also going to change our packages by flicking our right stick to the right until we get to outside linebacker sub. Now, what's so great about this defense is we can send one of the fastest blitzes in the game from any play that has these 4 defensive linemen rushing, as long as we call it with this defensive player on the right side of the field. Now, when we break the huddle, again, we need to make sure that this player is on the right side of the screen. Now, if he is, we're going to go ahead and set up our blitz. And we're going to do this by pinching our defensive line, which is going to be left on the D-pad, down on the left stick. Then we're going to crash them to the inside by hitting left on the D-pad, down on the right stick. And then we need to QB contain by double tapping RB on Xbox or R1 on PlayStation. Now, our play art should look like this. But again, this is the Drag Out Blitz. So we need to grab this player and drag him out a few steps. Now, there is a sweet spot here. You don't want to drag him too far. You don't want to drag him too short. You're going to go in practice mode and try this out a few times, but it's right around this area. It's a few yards away from the right tackle. Now, if you don't have your packages set properly, he's going to walk back into the inside once you click off of him. So again, the packages are important. You need to make sure you have your packages set properly. Now, you can use either one of these middle linebackers, but you're simply going to choose one of them and stand right behind the defensive tackle, again, close enough where you get these green bars and the green check mark over your head. And once the ball is snapped, if our opponent is sending out 5 receivers, you're going to see that we get instant pressure off the edge from that drag out player. And again, it's one of the fastest and best blitzes in the game. Now, again, reminder, you can do this from any play that has these 4 defensive linemen rushing. So here, for example, I'm showing it out of cover 3 cloud, but we can do this out of a Tampa 2, for example, a cover 6. There's a lot of different plays in this formation that you can do this from. So again, pinch the defensive line, crash them inside, QB contain, drag this player out a few steps, and then you're good to go. Again, you can shade your coverage however you want. You can adjust your coverage however you want. It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect the blitz at all, but you're going to see this guy come screaming in off the edge, for one of the fastest and best blitzes in Madden 25. This is one of the easiest and most unstoppable blitzes in Madden 25. The play is LB cross 3 show 2 from the formation 3-3 odd. Now it can be found in these different playbooks, but again, we're going to show a setup from our Minnesota defensive game plan. Now in order to run this blitz, we have to have our coaching adjustment set to auto flip off and auto alignment set to base. Next, from the play call menu screen, we have to make sure that we call this play with a 3-rec hook, this yellow zone right here, on the right side of the field. Now I also highly recommend subbing safeties into both of these middle linebacker spots, as their added speed and added excel are going to help the blitz come in even faster. Now to set this up again, once we break the huddle, we want to make sure that 3-rec is on the right side of the field, but we're going to start by spreading our linebackers. So we're going to do that by hitting right on the D-pad, up on the left stick, and then we're also going to spread our defensive line by hitting left on the D-pad, up on the left stick. Now from here, this player right here is always going to be our user. He's always going to be on the right side. It never changes. We just want to make sure to not move him and to put him into some type of zone, allowing us to switch stick. So it's going to look like this. Now you can shade however you like. You can change the coverage behind here. It's not going to affect anything. But if your opponent sends out 5 receivers, this is going to come screaming in through the A gap every single time for a sack of the quarterback. Now again, what makes this so good is you already have QB contains on the field. So if they try to roll out of it, they're not going to be able to do it. But again, you can shade however you like. A lot of players online are going to shade down. They're also going to put both of their deep safeties into inside quarters. So now you've got a cover 4 defense that's going to allow you to switch stick to wherever you want. And again, if they hesitate at all and you take away their first read, you're going to get an instant sack right up the middle. Again, one of the easiest and best blitzes in Madden 25. This is one of the fastest and most annoying blitzes in Madden 25. The play is cross 3 fire from the formation dime 1-4. It can be found in these different playbooks, but again, we're going to show a setup from our Minnesota defensive game plan. Now to run this blitz, we want our coaching adjustment set with auto flip off and auto alignment set to base. And from the play call menu screen, we want to make sure we're calling this play with a 3-rec hook on the right side of the field. Now when we break the huddle, you're going to notice that this play looks eerily similar to LB cross 3 show 2 out of nickel 3-3 odd that we've already talked about. However, this play has a special feature that makes it even more difficult to deal with and just an absolute nightmare to play against. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this play up by pinching our defensive line. So that's left on the D-pad, down on the left stick, and then crashing them to the inside by hitting left on the D-pad, down on the right stick. So it's going to look like this. Now you can use either one of these middle linebackers, because this is the special feature about this play. The loop will work with either linebacker versus an LB cross 3 show 2. It only works with one of them. So for example here, I'm going to start by using Jackson. I'm going to put him into some type of zone, and very importantly, I am not going to move him. Keep him exactly where he is, but you can go ahead and QB contain if you like. You can go ahead and do that. It doesn't matter. But when the ball is snapped, you're going to see that we're going to get this loop pressure right through the B gap for an instant sack of the quarterback. Again, if you have fast players into both of those middle linebacker spots, the blitz is going to come in even faster and be more difficult to deal with. Now let's send the blitz from the other side. Again, pinch the defensive line, crash them inside. This time I'm going to use this player over here, and we're going to put him into some type of zone. Again, I am not going to move him, and you're going to see that this blitz is now going to come in from the other side and loop in at the quarterback. Again, this blitz is going to even work better in game than it does in practice mode. It is absolutely insane. Now, just like an LB cross 3 show 2, you can do whatever you want with the coverage behind here. So if I wanted to shade down, if I wanted to turn this into a cover 4, I totally could. These are all great options. And again, optionally, you can QB contain as well, making this impossible for a quarterback to roll out of the pocket to try to run away from the pressure. So again, one of the best blitzes in the game and one of the most difficult to deal with, because you can send the loop pressure from either side. This is the unstoppable blitz that all pro players are using in Madden 25. The play is cover 4 drop from the formation dime 1-4. It can be found in these different playbooks, but again, we're going to show a setup from our Minnesota defensive game plan. Now to properly run this blitz, we're going to make sure that we have our coaching adjustment set with auto flip off and auto alignment set to base. Now what pro players are doing is they're calling the play double safety go, and then they're audibling to the play cover 4 drop. And from the play call menu screen, you want to make sure that you call double safety go with this linebacker blitzing on the left side of the screen. Now when you break the huddle, you're going to see these safeties walk down towards the line of scrimmage. And then you're still going to be able to audible to cover 4 drop as long as you put that in your audibles. And you're going to see the safeties are going to stay in that walk down position. And this is going to help protect against quick seam throws. It's also going to help in the run game. It is the best way to run this type of blitz. Now, in order to actually run the blitz, you can do a lot of different things behind here, and that's what makes it so good. You can shade down, putting hard flats on the field. You can QB contain. You can do a lot of different things with your coverage, but most importantly, to actually run the blitz, you're going to be able to use either one of these middle linebackers. So just for example here, let's say we want to send the blitz from the left. We're going to double tap the D-pad to the right to pull up the linebacker adjustments, and then I'm going to hit X, and then I'm going to hit my right stick down to blitz that linebacker on the left. Now with a non-blitzing linebacker, that's going to be our user. We're going to simply take him to the blitzing side, stand on the outside shoulder of the guard, holding the left trigger and slightly down on the left stick. Now you don't want to go off sides, but when the ball is snapped, you just want to run into that guard, and this is going to free up our middle linebacker who's blitzing for the fastest blitz in Madden 25. It is really, really annoying, and you can do this to either side of the field. It doesn't matter. So again, come out in double safety walk down, audible to cover 4 drop. You can shade your coverage however you like. And again, we're going to blitz that linebacker on the left side of the field. And then optionally, you can QB contain. Now, what makes this blitz even better is even if your opponent's blocking a running back, if that running back is blocked on the non-blitzing side, most of the time, they're not going to pick up this blitz. So for example, here we run this, the running back is blocked on the other side, and that time he barely got to him, but most of the time, especially in game, he's not going to stand a chance and he won't even come close. So again, let's do the same thing here. We're going to blitz the linebacker on the non-running back side, a QB contain. We'll snap the football. You can see the running back is blocked and does not even come close to picking up that blitzer. So this is why the pros are using this blitz and why it's the most overpowered blitz right now in Madden 25.